and good afternoon, and welcome to today's webinar on NBC Learn. We are really excited to hear a little bit more about this program and hear how a couple of schools and teachers are using it in their classroom. But first, we're going to cover a couple of housekeeping issues. First of all, please leave your line muted unless you are presenting. That way we won't have background noise while our presenters are trying to share. There's always bells ringing or people coming into classrooms or whatnot, so please leave your line muted. If I hear somebody unmuted, then I will mute you, again, just so that we don't have that background noise. Also, I see that a lot of people have introduced themselves in the chat box, and that is awesome. One thing to keep in mind, please, when you do make a comment, you need to make sure that from the drop-down box next to Send To, you select everyone. I am seeing a lot of messages that were only sent to me, and I'm glad to know who you all are, but everybody would like to see those messages. So just click on that drop-down. It's right above where you enter your chat text, and choose everyone from that drop-down. And also, while we're going through the presentation, we're going to be changing presenters, and you will lose those text boxes again, and you will just reopen them the same way that you did here at the beginning, just by mousing over the green bar at the top of the screen and choosing chat. So welcome, everyone. My name is Mary Carnahan, and I am an e-learning resource specialist with the Department of Education, and I get to do fun things like this, find great resources to share with you guys. So that's pretty exciting for me to get to do. What you are seeing here is our homepage, and we've got several things that are going on right now. One thing that I was asked to specifically mention that came out today is our Hoosier Student Digital Leaders Showcase, which will be coming up here in a few months. I don't have the exact details right in front of me, but as soon as I am done with this introduction, I am going to share a link to that information so that you can see that. You can also get there from our homepage, and by clicking on that Hoosier Student Digital Leaders link right there, within the next few days we will have that information, the link to the application to participate in the showcase. We also have recently announced our new digital learning grant, so that information you can find from our homepage, so please check that out. I see a comment from one person that the audio is bad, so if anybody else is having problems with the audio, please let me know, and I'll see what I can do about that. So this is our homepage. Again, you can find out everything that you need to know about us linked from here. We are gearing up for Digital Learning Day, which actually we celebrate Digital Learning Month. Typically, National Digital Learning Day is in February. This year it has been moved back to March, but we are still going to celebrate Digital Learning Month in February. So a few things that we'll have going on are we're going to be starting our Spring Book Club on February 2nd. We will have our Pinnovation Project where we will be highlighting pinners every day. There will be Twitter chats every Thursday in February. We will be having our 28-day Web 2.0 challenge where we have an educator blog for us each day. We'll be having some Geek Outs. Those will be Google Hangouts on various topics. And our 21st Century Learning Lab, which this webinar is a part of, we will be having some webinars. All of this information, again, will be available here in the next few days on our website. We'll have a website specifically for, or a web page specifically for Digital Learning Month. So we're excited about lots of opportunities coming in the month of February. Speaking of Twitter chats, we do have Twitter chats every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. This week's topic is a discussion of Eric Schenninger's 7 Pillars of Digital Learning. And so that is going to be a series, and that's starting this week with moderator Amy Heaven. So please join us for that on Thursday night. Now we are ready. I'm going to go back actually. We are ready to get started with our getting some information about NBC Learn, and I'm happy to have with us today Cyndy Harrison from NBC Learn, and she's going to share just a little bit about NBC Learn with you, and then we'll introduce two educators from around the state who will be sharing how they are using it in their schools. Now, just a little real quick about NBC Learn. We have we will have this available to us in the state, free to all educators, students, teachers in the state until September 30th, 2015. So through the summer, NBC Learn will be at some of the summer conferences to share with you guys. And we are going to be working on how we are going to continue offering NBC Learn to you all. So just watch for information that will be coming about that in the weeks and months to come. So we are excited to have Cyndy. And are you there, Cyndy? And Cyndy is still muted. Cyndy, I have turned presenter rights over to you. Are you?
Okay, great. Do you hear me now?
Oh, I can hear you now, yes.
Yay! All righty. So just to briefly, thank you so much, Mary. I love working with all of you in Indiana. I feel at home in Indiana after being there for 4 weeks last year during the summer of eLearning, and look forward to this year as well. Working with all of the dedicated educators there in Indiana. And NBC Learn is just so proud to participate with the Indiana Department of Education with the digital e-learning to have us over the entire state. So all teachers and students, no matter if it's public school or private or parochial school, to have you all fund that is just remarkable. Just briefly, I am a former teacher. I taught U.S. history in a Title I high school in Houston, Texas, and I was using NBC Learn in my own classroom. And so I briefly want to kind of talk about NBC Learn real quick, and then just a few quick slides in a PowerPoint, and then I'm going to navigate to our website. You can see that we are the educational arm of NBC News, and that we were created in 2007. We are supporting lifelong learners, and we are with 9 million students in 10,000 school buildings across the United States and 7 countries. The best part of NBC Learn is our videos. They're already short. It's the review, it's the news. So most of them are between 1 and 6 minutes in length, and you will find them very engaging and relevant and inspiring, and that you can use them in a multiple of ways. And that's why it's so wonderful to have two fellow educators here that will be talking about how their schools and their districts have implemented NBC Learn in a variety of ways. Currently, we have over 17,000 broadcast quality resources, and they're aligned to 40-plus subjects, but best of all, they're also aligned to the Indiana state standards. So how do you get to this wonderful resource? Well, you just navigate to, if you want to just go ahead and go to indiana.nbclearn.com, and I am actually going to be doing the same thing if you want to follow along with me. So now that you can see, you can access NBC Learn. We have, you can go through to our standalone site, where the top one where it says click here to access NBC Learn K12, or we are also available if you are using My Big Campus in your district or your school. You can also go there. Now, there is a little bit of differences in using it. I'm going to stay just with the time constraints that I have today. I'm going to actually just stay with the standalone site. But I'm also going to give information because we are able to provide free webinars no matter when you need them. If you want to do it by your school or just do it by content area, however works best for you. So I will give some contact information just a little bit later. But right now, I'm going to go ahead and click here to access NBC Learn K12, and you can see that it's going to bring me up to our site, and this is where we have all 17,000 plus resources. And you'll know you're in the correct place because in the upper right-hand corner, it will say, Welcome, Indiana Department of Education. Now, we wanted to keep the barriers low. We wanted people to access this. So this is what you can access now at this point, all 17,000 resources. If students are doing homework, they would be able to go through here and find resources without further logging in. However, we recommend teachers to get their own account, to sign in or to register now in the upper right-hand corner because you do get increased functionality by making a playlist. So I do want to go ahead and I'm going to use my sign-in because later in today's session, Shelley Coover, one of our speakers, is going to be talking about playlists, so I want to make sure I am logged in for her. So I'm going to go ahead and just do my login, and if you, like I said, feel free to register now if you have not done so already. Go ahead and do that. And so now I am now in our site, and like I said, this will enable me to have increased functionality, and I am doing it quickly and somehow did not. Okay, so now it will say Welcome, Cyndy in the upper right-hand corner. So I'm going to just take a few highlights of our homepage. I'm not going to talk about every single thing here because I do want to stay focused on giving you as much information as I can in such a small amount of time. So you can see what we have here is what we call our carousel. It highlights various resources. You can follow us via the social media right below that, or we do have a newsletter that is published the first week of each month. So you could click on that for additional information. I'm going to go ahead and scroll further down. And like what we're going to be talking about today with Shelley and Jeremy talking about how their schools are using it, we also highlight what we call our subscriber spotlight. Various teachers across the disciplines, across grade levels, and how they're using NBC Learn in the classroom. So for this top woman, she is actually a high school teacher in the Chesapeake schools in Virginia, and she teaches economics and personal finance. And below her, we have a teacher from Houston ISD that is teaching world cultures, but how they're using it can also transcend. You know, teachers are wonderful about seeing how one teacher uses it and be able to bring it into our own classroom. That's why I love these collaborative sessions like what Indiana is doing with all these wonderful webinars and their Twitter chats to be able to share best practices. So come back through there when you have a little more time. I'm going to go ahead and go to the upper left-hand corner where you see all collections. Our resources are updated every day, Monday through Friday, and we have, along with our archival material that dates back to the 20s and 30s, as we have over 6 million hours worth of content in a warehouse in New Jersey, we also add our current events. And you can see that our previous years are listed out. And what is also nice, I'm going to go ahead and click on January. And so we have the first 2 weeks. We are updating it today from over the weekend. But I'm going to go ahead and click on the week of January 11th. I'm going to click on this first one here. When I was doing sessions last summer, we had the original story of this. This is actually a follow-up story.
Finally, here's
I'm going to go ahead and pause it. So this is what we call our cue card. It is our media player. You can see it's independent from the screen. We have, you can add closed captioning. We can go full screen, so you're able to show the students, they can see the full screen. I used closed captioning. I had a lot of students that were EFL, so they were like listening and hearing, but also my own son has dyslexia, and he too still likes to listen and see the stories, so it makes it very nice having the closed captioning capability. I'm going to draw your attention to the upper right-hand corner, and you see a backward-facing arrow. That is our flip button. And this takes you to our metadata and bibliographic information that we have located on the back of our cue card. So you can see that this particular resource is coming from NBC Nightly News, but we have a variety of family of properties that we gather information, such as the Today Show, Dateline NBC, Meet the Press. You can see the published information, the copyright date. As subscribers, you have access. You don't have to worry about copyright. It is free and clear for you to use. Our clip links, 2 minutes and 35 seconds. So it's very indicative to the majority of our resources where you can have, and it's so nice to have them where you can, like I said, start a new topic with it. You can support what you're saying, or even at the end and sum it up, or students can look for the resources themselves. We have a brief description. Yes?
I'm sorry to interrupt. This is Mike Allen. I work for a private school, and so I'm looking, if I'm looking to register, can I register under a private school name, or does it have to be within the public school Rolodex?
That is a wonderful question. Yes, you can register. If you navigate further down in that drop-down menu, there is a place, and I want to say it's under Indiana Parochial and Private Schools. You don't have your name specifically, but just put it in that section.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. All right, so we also have keywords, which is really nice because they're hyperlinked. So if students are starting their research process, they can click on this and find other resources within our collection that would come up with that same keyword. The Making a Difference videos are very popular for teachers to use from kindergarten through 12th grade, you know, showing that empathy. So those are very, very popular when I'm doing on-site training. We also have a citation generator.
Sorry.
Is there a question? Okay. So you can see in our citation generator, we have the MLA, APA, or Chicago Manual of Style format, where you can just click copy and have that available. We also have a transcript. So you get a transcript drawer pulls out, and you are able to look at the full transcript. Matter of fact, when I was teaching and I was looking for resources, this is how I would find if I didn't have that 2 minutes and 32 seconds to look for it. I was able to pull out, you know, click on the transcript tab and review the transcript and see if it was a resource I wanted to use in my classroom. And then I'm going to draw your attention now below that we have these tabs. Now this is where it's different. So if you are still at the site where it says Welcome Indiana Department of Education in the upper right-hand corner, these first two tabs will be grayed out. However, this is the increased functionality by having your own account. So you can click on Save, and this is, I won't go into this in full detail because, like I said, Shelley will be talking about playlists a little bit later. But we can add this to an existing playlist, or I can just add it right now. If I could spell Indiana right, it would be about nice. And so I'm going to go ahead and click on Save, and it makes it really nice that you are able then to have your resources if you want to do it by unit. And what's really nice is the next year you already have everything ready to go. Once you have saved a resource, then you can click on the tab, Notes tab, and you can add here whatever you need. Just add info. So you have that. You can click on Save, and then it will turn green, and the drawer closes automatically. You can share. This is what's really nice about collaborating. So if you're working with a colleague, you can share that. You can send it out via Twitter. You have all of this available to you. If you already have a PowerPoint that you just want to add, you can copy this URL, put it on an existing PowerPoint, or add it to your website, however works best for you. We offer it to print. So we can click on Print here. And you have, like, say, for instance, if a student needs a written copy of notes, you can do so right here. You will get the full two-dimensional version of the cue card, and I'm just going to keep, it's going a little slow, but it will come up. We also have the ability to download. I won't show that today just due to the timeliness of everything to get it all accomplished here in this short period of time. But the download feature allows you to show the resources from your desktop as opposed to using it online. You can also then get an embed code to put it through a PowerPoint if you should choose to do it that way. I'm going to go ahead and go back to all collections. And so you can see you can go through the various collections this way, just browsing your particular topic, or you can actually go, if you want to look for a resource, that's just one way of going through it, is through browse. You can also look through state standards. So I'm going to go ahead and click on state standards. So if there is a particular standard, and it must know I was teaching in Texas. For Texas, usually New York actually pops up now. But I will go here to Indiana. And I will select, for instance, social studies, and I'll go to 5th grade. And so what it's going to do now is bring up all of the social studies standards for Indiana, and then our correlated videos will be along the right-hand side. So it's going to have all of them along here. I don't know why just the 2 popped up. Oh, I just did this, and now the grades aren't even being offered. Okay, so the best thing to do, you can go ahead and click on that. Pick by, Indiana State Standards, choose your content area, and choose your grade level, and all of the standards will come up, and then along the right-hand side you will see a green check mark, and you will go ahead and be able to check on those, and then a list of all the resources aligned to that particular standard will appear, and then they're all hyperlinked, so you're able to click on those particular titles to see if that is a resource that you want to use. So it is very nice that you can do it through the state standard. So you have along the left-hand side, like it's the browse, you have the state standard, and then in the upper right-hand corner, you can actually do a search. So I am a history teacher, so I'm going to search the Civil War. And so now it's going to bring up all of the various resources from the Civil War, and now, wonderful. And I will just come right back to that.
Cyndy, are you still there?
Yes, do you hear me?
We hear you. I hear you now. I didn't, oh.
Oh, I was just busy talking away. Okay.
Yeah, I think you must have been frozen.
Talking away. And it's almost like I was just going to show the search, but I can do that toward the end. I want to make sure that Jeremy has his time. So go ahead and change it to Jeremy, and then once I'm going to show my screen again with Shelley, and at the end of that, I'll show the search.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and pass it on to Jeremy, and hopefully this will go without a hitch. So Jeremy, do you have audio?
I think so. Can you hear me okay?
I hear you, yes, and I'm changing,
cool.
Making you the presenter. And while I'm on, just for a second, every time, like I said earlier, every time I change presenters, you guys will lose your chat box. So just mouse over that green bar at the top of the screen and click on chat, and please feel free to enter questions and comments there as we go. And Jeremy, you're on. Thanks a lot for being here today.
Awesome. Thank you, Cyndy and Mary. Thanks for inviting us here. My name is Jeremy May. I am the e-learning coordinator for Lawrence Township Schools. We're kind of like in the middle of a really weird journey, so it was really funny when we got the email saying that we were one of the highest use districts in the state, because we haven't really done any formal NBC Learn professional development, so a lot of this has been just discovery by our teachers and by our students. So we're really excited to know that the teachers and students are using the resources. And it's really kind of funny how we started using NBC Learn. It actually began with our PE and health teachers. We started running our PE classes online through MyBigCampus, and our PE teachers wanted to use more quality video and resources than they could find on YouTube. So they were introduced to NBC Learn, and we're actually incorporating several of the videos from the library into the class, and the kids were actually exposed to extremely relevant content that was extremely high quality. And we're really grateful to DOE for having this partnership so we could continue this. In January of last year, we began our switch to Canvas. And when we switched, one of the first resources I wanted to integrate was NBC Learn. And NBC Learn is an LTI tool that's built into Canvas. So I sent a couple of emails, got a couple of responses, and we were able to get this added inside of our Canvas instance. So what's really nice is when our teachers are editing pages, they actually have an editor button that they can search the NBC Learn video library and embed these videos directly into a page. So what a lot of our teachers will do is as they're adding content to their class, they'll go into the NBC Learn video library, find a video that they like, and then they just click the embed button, adds it right inside of their page, and then their students are able to watch that video on that page wherever they are. So it's a really, really slick integration with our Canvases. And then we also have it inside of our assignment editor. So some of our teachers are using these videos inside of assignments, and then they'll use the resources embedded inside of the cue card as a way to build these assignments and get the kids participating inside of the class. So it's a really, really smooth integration as far as the teacher side. And then we also have a course navigation button that our students are able to click on, and they're free to search through the NBC Learn archive themselves. So some kids will actually go through here when they have some spare time, or teachers will actually assign them, go to the NBC Learn Library, find a video on this topic, and then share with us about what you found. So it's a really smooth way for both of our teachers and our students to get inside of the library and start exploring and experiencing all of these quality resources. We don't really have a formal professional development plan for NBC Learn. They do offer that, and we are going to be taking advantage of that. But because we've kind of bombarded our teachers with Canvas and OnetoOne all in the same year, we felt like the best way to approach NBC Learn would be on a kind of an individual embedded basis. So a lot of what we've done with this has been, as we build our Canvas courses and as teachers ask for additional resources to use, we'll steer them to the NBC Learn Library and help them begin pulling these resources into their classes. Our English teachers really like it because there was a time where they did the interviews with the writers, so our reading and language arts teachers would incorporate those writer interviews into their classes. Our social studies teachers have really liked having just a couple of clicks to find some relevant news stories for social studies class. And then, of course, with the Olympics and the integration they have in here with the 2014 Winter Olympic Games, the science and math teachers really liked having those resources available to kind of go along with what was happening in the news directly. We've been really surprised that there are some teachers that I've been working with that will look through NBC Learn over YouTube just because they know that the quality of the video they're getting from NBC is much, much higher. Plus, it comes with additional resources that they can use as they're building their lessons inside of the class. So having it built in here, it's just a couple of clicks. I don't have to go search YouTube, preview the content, make sure there's nothing inappropriate in it. I know everything in here is appropriate, and I can put it wherever I need it as I build. And as we move forward with our Canvas integration and with our NBC Learn partnership, we're really excited to start leveraging the professional development resources they have available to start engaging our teachers and digging deeper into the experience with NBC Learn and building out these courses to be much more robust with the content, because we always know, like Cyndy said, it's always updated. There's always something relevant on here, and our teachers are always able to find something important that they can pull in and have conversation on, or something that they can engage with a relevant assignment with. So that way the class is always changing. It's not static, and we know what we're going to have in here is going to be something super high quality. But from a e-learning coordinator standpoint, I really like the support and the responsiveness. That if I have a question or if there's something that we're curious about inside of NBC Learn, I'm able to communicate with them, and they get back extremely quickly with us as we build these out. And then as far as supporting our teachers, it's really a robust way to start engaging them with more embeddable content inside of their courses, but also more relevant content inside of their courses. So we're really excited about the continuation of this partnership and working with COE and NBC Learn to keep this going forward. So I know as far as the non-teacher side of things, it's been really easy for me to support this in the district, and it's been really exciting to see how our youth has exploded as we put this into our Canvas instance. But as a teacher side, I'm a science teacher at heart, so I look at this and I just think of all the amazing things that are in here and the things that teachers can do with these resources inside of their classrooms. That's about all I have from my side of things. I don't know if there are any questions for me or Mary, if you want to hand it over to Cyndy.
And Cyndy, are you back online? I know Cyndy was having some problems. One question, Jeremy, while you are still on the line, that came in for you was how much has this been teacher-directed versus student-directed?
Because of where we sit, there has been a slight focus more on the teacher side of things, just because we want to expose them to it and expose them to the resources that are available. The student side has been primarily driven by the teachers as far as assignments go. We haven't formally put anything out to our students to introduce them to it or to move them into looking at these resources instead of, say, YouTube or Vimeo resources. But we hope to come up with something that can engage our students and parents with these as well and let them know what's out there and that these are safe, quality, reliable resources that are vetted and trusted for use in an educational setting.
Excellent. Okay, thank you. Shelley, are you there?
I am. Can you hear me?
I can. Oh, actually, Cyndy says that she's back on and she can do it. So.
Okay. One thing I wanted to address, I see the question about the one-to-one iPads. And we are one-to-one with iPads, and by embedding the videos into Canvas, they do play on the iPad. So we've had no issues with that, just to let people know. I think whatever magic the tech people, wave their wand and do in hooking that up in that LTI within Canvas makes those work for us. So I just wanted to answer that right quick since I saw that popping up. I'm Shelley Coover, and I work in Noblesville Schools. I'm an instructional coach, and I work mainly with the middle school teachers, but we all kind of cross paths. So this fall, we went one-to-one with iPads, and in the summer, we were helping prepare the teachers get ready for that. In our grades 6 through 12, we have Canvas as our learning management system. In K through 5, we have My Big Campus, and we successfully use My Big Campus in both platforms. We try to contextualize all of our PD. So this summer, we didn't want to have classes on apps. In fact, we were very intentional about not focusing on different apps to do things with the iPad. We had courses that were, how to write in digital spaces or how to have a math mind with technology. And then we worked several apps or strategies into that. So this summer, it was open for K-12 teachers. We had a class called Creating Your Digital Curriculum, and NBC Learn was one of the resources that we highlighted, and I just can't say enough. I mean, first of all, just NBC, the resource is fabulous. but then also to the Department of Ed for providing this for all teachers. And I still think there are so many people that don't know what's out there, so all of you in here today, spread the word. Because it is high quality, Jeremy mentioned that, and it's really good stuff. We used NBC's professional development resources in the start of our class for the summer. So they did a webinar for us, and we went over exactly how you embed the videos into My Big Campus and Canvas for our teachers. And then as part of this class, it was a day-long class, after we introduced some tools, the teachers had time to start working and building those curriculums. And they love the connection, I think all teachers do, to current events. It's almost like NBC has elves working at night, putting stories in from that day, because you can almost always get on the next day and find a story about something big that happened in the world. But in particular, one of the teachers who came to the summer workshop, she's a 6th grade social studies teacher, and the curriculum is ancient cultures. So it's very hard to find stuff that is middle school appropriate and will keep their interest when trying to cover some of those countries. She was working on her ancient Rome unit, and we were able to find several videos. It's kind of like a series in here that was a few years old, but where Matt Lauer is actually in Rome, and he's going through the Colosseum with an expert, a professor in Rome. And it was really great because the kids had, you know, these drawings in their textbook that were in color, showing how the Colosseum worked and how it looked, you know, back in the day. But by using the videos that we found, the lady would walk them through the sections, and they could see how it looked today, and really where, you know, they you know, closed all these doors and filled the Colosseum with water, and where all the animals were kept. And so it really brought life to an ancient topic for the middle school kids when we came back to school this fall, and she tried that. Our social studies teachers also really like being able to find videos from different time periods, so they can show students how cultures and societies here in the United States have progressed over time. In particular, there was a teacher who did that with the city of New York, and they were talking about immigration and migration, and it was fascinating to be able to see these videos back to back to back and watch that process happen. Cyndy referenced playlists earlier, and playlists are something that you can't make a playlist and have that play in Canvas for students, but because students nowadays are so visual and they're really into these interactive technologies and the power of video and teaching, some of the teachers have started making playlists that they use as kind of their lecture for class. So they'll watch a video clip and then have a discussion, watch another video clip and have a discussion. And the great thing is that you, as the teacher, select the videos you want to put into your playlist, and so you can pick and choose things and do, you know, compare and contrast, or talk about cause and effect, or compare things that you might not have been able to do. And Cyndy, could you kind of show us how that process works?
This is Mary, and I'm sharing my screen now. And
oh, you are? Did we lose her? Okay.
Cyndy's there. She's just having
difficulty
browser problems. Yeah.
Okay.
So if there's anything that you would if there's anything you would like us to walk through, you're just going to have to walk me through it, because it's been a while since I've done it.
Yeah, you're there. What you're going to do is you're just, like if we had 2 or 3 video clips there, we could just put them in the order we want them in. And what you could do is send that, you can see at the top there it says copy URL. You can combine those and get one URL. And if you sent that out, those videos would just play one right after the other. So that's one way to use the playlist. But you can also, of course, you know, use that to teach from and start and stop it and have a discussion or have it be interactive. One last thing that I wanted to share about NBC Learn is that last year when we were just starting with iPads in the hands of teachers, getting ready for our one-to-one initiative, it was the 50th anniversary of the Civil Rights Movement, and one of the social studies teachers, 8th grade social studies teachers, was following a Twitter feed that was done by NPR, and what they were doing is in real time, as if it was that day 50 years earlier, they were tweeting out what was happening. So let's say at 9:56 it would say all the programs for today's event have now been distributed to the crowd. At one point it said something like a hush came over the crowd because Jackie Robinson, the baseball player's son, has been lost, and everybody is trying to help find him and reconnect him with his dad. So if things were coming through the Twitter feed when he was tweeting in class and students didn't know, well, who's Jackie Robinson, he could go into NBC Learn and search for that topic and show the kids or give them a reference for, like, that's who they're talking about right now. So I just feel like there are a lot of ways that you can use it other than just, you know, hey, we're talking about this, here's a video clip, watch it. As an instructional coach, I'm always trying to figure out, is what I'm, you know, doing with teachers working, and are they using it when I walk away? And one of the great things about NBC Learn is that you can get a monthly report of the usage. And so that kind of helps us know if there are different departments or areas we need to target or ask questions, or just kind of remind people, hey, don't forget about, you know, NBC Learn. And for me, a lot of times at home in the evening, I'm trying to go through my email and people will say, hey, I need a resource for this, or I need a resource for this. And it's easy for me, Cyndy showed the social media sharing buttons earlier, it's easy for me to find something and email it to them and say, hey, would this work? I found this on NBC Learn. So I just really think it's a powerful tool and can't say enough good things about it. Mary, are you there?
I am. Thank you,
Okay.
Shelley, very much.
Okay.
Cyndy, can you unmute yourself? See if her audio works. Cyndy had been having internet issues earlier and had to go to a backup site, so
Okay.
it seems like she might be having issues again. You are not unmuted, Cyndy. I see your message. I don't hear you. Here, let me try to click it here and see if this is your audio. Okay, are you unmuted now?
Yes. Do you hear me now?
I hear you now, yes.
Yay! I apologize. I can see your screen. I just can't show mine for some reason. I've been following along, and thank you so much to Shelley. And I wish we were able to. I was able to show the playlist that we had discussed prior to getting on today's session. What has been wonderful about Indiana is that they have so many, like I said, creative educators, and I'm so thankful for Jeremy and Shelley to share how each of their schools are using it. And like Evansville, we have one of our, he's really kind of our first subscriber spotlight, is John Carl. I don't know if you can get to my PowerPoint, since it's just browser, I'm able to watch your stuff. I don't know if you could switch it back to me. I can talk a little bit about what some of the other teachers are doing it, how they're using it within Indiana. So you can see here that John Carl, he is a high school history teacher in Evansville, and he actually had put together a video showing how he made his students what he called is become history detectives. And this is along the same lines as what Shelley was saying, you know, how the students are able to search within NBC Learn right then, and they're looking for additional information about a specific topic. And in John Carl's instance, he had them look through for the Depression. So he had shown these two iconic images, and they were able to find follow-up videos from the 1970s, and how there was an interview, you know, the migrant mother, we heard that the students were able to actually see this interview with Florence Thompson talking about and reflecting back on the Dust Bowl, as well as the image here you see in the middle of the screen. where they knew what had happened after that video had taken place. And this was just one of many ways that he uses it within his own classroom. And we also, what I was saying, we have Amy Carney here. She teaches 5th and 6th grade. She teaches science and how she uses these resources. And if you go to our homepage where I was showing you about the subscriber spotlights, both of these educators are listed out in there. But what I really liked about one of the things that Amy Carney said, and why I chose to use this lionfish devour native species as population explodes in the upper right-hand corner, is that she knows that her students are really getting the information from the videos, because on parent night she had a dad that came in and he was talking all about the lionfish because his daughter had been talking about it at dinner. So it is really nice to be able to see and that these videos are engaging, that the students are going home and talking about it with their families or with others to provide information. Then you can also see how she uses it to reinforce her content, and she is able to use it by searching for the state standard, and then she uses her playlist. So these are the wonderful features about NBC Learn, to have that by looking for resources by state standard, and then by making these playlists, as what Shelley was talking about as well too. So in summary, with our resources, you can see that they are relevant and engaging. We have, and then we also support Indiana standards. So that makes it so nice that, you know, as you know, you can use the browse feature and look for resources. And that's the other thing along, if you are following along and you're browsing along and you're looking at a resource, we do have a standards tab located at the bottom of the cue card, and that would provide you which standards that particular video is aligned to. So you might see that it's language arts and social studies. Maybe if you are an elementary teacher, it would be on both sides, as well as searching for them directly through the search tab located at the top. And again, I love these real examples that Shelley and Jeremy shared, but then also the real examples that we have through our subscriber spotlight. Are there any questions that I can help answer? Or I know you've already asked Shelley and Jeremy, but all three of us, we are happy to answer any of these questions. But we also, I want to and just make sure you do know that NBC Learn is available to every teacher, student, and parent with all of the school districts and all private and parochial schools. And then what we have here is some contact information, especially if you would like to contact Jane Rowe. That's available to organize and set any kind of webinar that you would like to do for your district. So I am here for any questions.
And it looks like Jane has put her email address in there. Cyndy, we weren't able to see your PowerPoint, so I just went back to the NBC Learn homepage.
Oh, okay. I don't know. That is, and see, the screen didn't switch off. I was just busy talking about my PowerPoint.
Yep, we can hear you just fine. We just couldn't see your screen. So,
oh, okay.
Like I said,
well, hopefully I described it well enough.
Yes, definitely. And I was looking to see if I'd written down a couple of questions. One question that I'm not sure, I lose track of the chat window sometimes, but one question that I saw that I'm not sure was answered was, are all Indiana standards listed, not just the core 4?
I believe, I know we had gone into additional ones at the request of some educators. But I will have to get back to you on that one specifically. I know we had looked into it with our service that gathers the standards for us, that we send this out, and then they align our videos to the specific standards in Indiana. So I will have to check with you on that, check and let you know, and if you could let that person that requested that information.
Sure. Oh, and Jane is also offering an answer in the chat window. Thank you, Jane.
Perfect.
Okay, last call for questions. Any other questions before we sign off? And while we're waiting on questions, I'll go back. I'll see if I can get back to my, I don't know if I can get to my PowerPoint. And just share our contact information. And I don't see any other questions, so we can go ahead and sign off for the day. A big, huge thank you to Cyndy and Jeremy and Shelley for sharing with us today, and a thank you to all of you who attended and who had patience through our technical difficulties. Like I said to Cyndy in the background, technology is great when it works. When it doesn't, it frustrates everybody. So thank you all for your patience, and thank you to our presenters. And please utilize NBC Learn if you're interested in having them share with your staff. Contact them. You know, it's been a great relationship that we've had with NBC Learn over the past few years now, and they are very supportive. And as I said, they will be at some of our Summer of eLearning conferences, and information about those conferences will be shared within the next few weeks. I think we're firming up some of the dates at some of our locations around the state, so watch for that information coming to our website very soon. So thank you all very much, and have a wonderful evening.
Great. Thank you, Mary.
Thanks, Cyndy.